I met my wife Debbie at a 4th of July party 28 years ago. I saw her across the yard and I thought to myself, I wanted to meet her. So I walked up to her, reached behind me and pulled out a tomato. And what I thought was my best pickup line ever, I said, "Here, you want this tomato? I grew it myself." Well, she looked me dead in the eye and she said, "No, you didn't. You brought a can of baked beans." Well, at least I realized she noticed me. So I sat down, started talking to her, and we hit it off and we started dating shortly after that. But it's always bothered me that I never brought her a tomato that I made myself. So this project comes out of that, the desire to make something myself and give it to her. Let's get started. Okay, we're starting this project off with a piece of watercolor paper. This is 140-pound watercolor paper, and I'm going to go ahead and start laying down the background color, and I want to build up a number of layers. What we're trying to do is really build kind of a weathered or a distressed look. Fill the whole page. And I'm letting the colors mix and streak right on the page. Okay, now we've got the first color down, completely covered. I'm going to let that dry. You can see it's just layering color over top of each other. So each of the later color interacts with what's behind it. Now I have a good base here, but what I want to really do is give it a weathered look. So I'm going to go back and just keep taking with my credit card, just keep mixing some of the colors that we've used already back into it. I want to have an area down here that is completely blocked off so we can put our words later in the process. So I'm going to go ahead and just paint off this lower third or quarter here. All right, now we'll let that dry. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. Then I'm going to take a sheet of 80-pound drawing paper. You can either use 80-pound drawing paper or offset printing paper, but basically we want to have something that is a little bit lighter. We're going to go ahead and paint the tomato colors onto this. Now I want to get this a little more tomato color, so I want some oranges in it. So I'm going to go ahead and mix some of my red and yellow together. At this point, all we're trying to do is get some variety in the background. It actually gives a nice tomatoey color here. Okay, now I want to have a couple little darker areas as well. Okay, now I'm going to also need to have a stem, so I'm going to use a little bit of green. Okay, now that this is dry, what I want to do is kind of look at where the colors are, and I'm going to draw the tomato on the back side and just cut right around the tomato. Then I want to add some shadows and some highlights. So I'm going to go back to my piece here, and I'm just going to find little places where I think I can use for a shadow. Some highlights. I'm just cutting out little simple shapes here that can suggest it. Draw a little stem and cut it out with the X-Acto knife. Again, it's just a very simple shape. Okay, I like the way this is looking in position, so I'm going to go ahead and get my matte medium out and glue it down to the background page. Now what I want to do is take a sheet of cardboard, put the tomato illustration back down. Then I'm going to take a paper punch awl and I'm going to go around the complete outside of the tomato, and then the outside of the stem and the highlights and shadows by poking a hole. And I'll poke a hole about every about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch apart. So here we go. Is get our needle and thread, and we're going to start sewing it. So just pick a side of the tomato from and back. So I'll grab right here at the edge. I just want to tape down that little piece. Okay, now we just go back and forth. So out one, in the other. I went ahead and stitched all the way around the tomato and the stem and the highlights, and that gives it that nice kind of funky edge, something a little bit different. Down here, I'm going to add the word tomato. And just go back and kind of touch it up a little bit. Okay, and there we have the final piece. Well, I hope you enjoyed this project as much as I enjoyed making it. And Debbie, I wanted you to know I drew it myself. Hello everyone. If you like the videos and the art that I've been creating and you want a little more, I wanted you to know about this online workshop I will be starting October 12th. It's called The Art of the Selfie. And in this workshop, we're going to create 6 mixed media self-portraits. Each selfie is going to show the world a little bit about ourselves and our story. So if you want to join me on this art-making adventure in self-discovery, please sign up now.
Better than beans!